Hey guys, so welcome to a new video of Growth Traders. So in this video, we shall be having an in-depth analysis of our indices as well as the heavyweights in order for us to have a proper trade plan for the upcoming week. So you can see that this is the chart of the 2-hourly time frame of Nifty, right? So this is a downtrending channel that the price has created after making a high of about the 18,880 mark. Right, so from there on there is a correction mode that the markets are in, right? So looking at the very recent market structure or price action, this is what we can understand, that the area of 17,800 to 850 is a very important range to be considered for the short term. So yes, this range was broken down just before our budget. So of course, if you were trading on a previous week, you must have been aware that markets were absolutely volatile, and just before the budget, this this zone was broken down. This was a very important support zone for the short term. So after that breakdown, the price made a low of 17,400, and on the budget day, the price gave a very volatile move till around the mark of 17,350 as seen on this candle, right? But from those levels, the price did manage to recover and currently is trading at around the mark of 17,800, right? So as I was saying, this is a very important resistance zone for the short term. So if the price does not sustain above this, right, if on our next session we get a price action like this, then we are definitely going to observe a fall till the last low, that is around the mark of 17,400. Right, this is a very simple analysis. This can be a good short position if the price rejects 17,800 to 850 resistance and heads downwards, right? But if you look at this price action, that the price has taken support and created a double bottom kind of a pattern, and on our previous session the VIX had also gone down, and now that the budget is over and we can observe, we can predict a proper trending market, right, in our upcoming week, right? So obviously if the price does manage to sustain above 17,800, we are definitely seeing 18,000 this week, right? So of course this is a very simple analysis. If the price does manage to sustain above 17,800, then the whole move would prove to be a false breakdown and prices would recover. So a very clear trade till around the targets of 18,000 to 18,050 can come on our cards, right? But if the price does not manage to sustain above it, then we can observe some consolidation or a fall till the last low. But I don't really think that the market is going to be so bearish, considering the fact that the price gave a very good recovery from the lows, and 17,400, as you can see, got tested twice and the price recovered around 400 points from that area. So of course, till the market is above 17,850, we shall be bullish and we can obviously take the target of 18,000 for the short term. Now talking about the 18,000 mark, right, this is also an absolutely important resistance zone for the short term. Why? Because of course it is a major psychological level, and in this case this serves to be the upper trend line as well, right? So if the price hits this 17,800 and again rejects from here with a strong momentum, then we may observe some correction till around 17,500 as a psychological mark. Of course, first target from that area would be 17,800 followed by 17,500. So yes, that is also probable considering the fact that 18,000 is a very important resistance. So of course, let me mark the level of 18,000 as well. So you can see this is the point of interest, right? So if the price gives some good momentum above the previous high and especially clears this area of 17,900, then if this momentum sustains, then we can plan for an early entry to capture this channel breakout, right? Hopefully you understand this. I'm talking about a price action of this way. If the price gives the breakout of 17,900 after a pullback maybe and heads high up very strongly with some good momentum, then we can probably enter at the lower levels and hold our positions with cost to cost SL and target for 18,200, right? So 18,200 can be a very important target if the price sustains above 1800, right? So above 18,200 you have 18,260 followed by 18, of course 18,300 and 18,400, right? So 18,400 will also be a very important resistance. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about, right? So this zone that is around the mark of 18,400, as you can see, price has taken multiple resistances and it was also previously a support. So obviously the price is going to face some good resistance at this point, right? So this is the bullish scenario. But if the price does not manage to sustain above this area, again I'm saying, then we can observe a clear fall till the last low, and from there on we can plan for further downfall if the price gives good momentum on the selling side, of course. So that is the trade plan on Nifty. Let's see where the markets are heading to in the upcoming week. Now let's switch our chart to, of course, Bank Nifty, right? So in Bank Nifty you can very clearly see that this was kind of a symmetrical triangle structure that the price created, and of course it was broken down thanks to the volatility coming from the Adani stocks, right? So SBI did go down by about 10% in just 2 trading sessions, and of course the other banks were also very bearish. Now looking at this price action, so again it is quite similar to Nifty, that the price recovered very strongly from around the mark of 39,500 and currently is trading at 41,500. So yes, around 2,000 points recovery from the lows, right? So again the view remains very clear. If the price manages to sustain above 41,500, then we can observe a clear upside movement till 42,000, and if the price reclaims 42,000, we can observe a further move till these resistance areas, as I am marking in a second. This can be a very important area, right? So of course this can be the trade plan if this whole move turns out to be a false breakdown movement, right? So that is our 2 hours time frame on Bank Nifty. If you look at the weekly time frame as well, right, I will be showing the weekly time frame of both Nifty, Bank Nifty. So you can see that the previous weekly candle is not that bad, and look at the volume associated with it, right? So can't really say where the trend is heading towards, but that will be confirmed on probably Monday or Tuesday, right? If you look at Nifty weekly time frame, that's gonna open in a second, right? So as you can see, seems like the price has made a decent bottom for the short term, of course, and is heading upwards, right? But still now we are not really sure whether the markets are going to be bullish or bearish, because on one side there is a very strong recovery on the charts from the lower levels, but on the other side, if you look at the numbers from the FIIs, then they are still selling in huge quantities, right? So that is a point of concern for the markets, and of course if they continue the selling, they are definitely going to sell at the higher levels and continue this downtrend, right? So that's the major thing you should be concerned about for the short term. All right, now let's have a look at the index heavyweights. So that can be our Reliance, right? So Reliance, as you can see on the chart, right, so Reliance is currently at a major support zone, and this is the zone I'm talking about. Of course this is an absolutely important area, that is around the mark of 2,300. If you look on the higher time frame, so of course the price has given a very bearish move from the higher levels, right, especially before its results. Now if I come to the daily, right, so we have not actually observed any significant up move from around these areas. So as you can see, pretty much kind of a consolidation at around the mark of 2320 to 30. So from here, Reliance may establish a short term bottom and head higher. If it heads higher, then of course our market, that is specifically Nifty, is going to be decently bullish, right? So the contribution from Reliance is of course very high, and that may bring in some up move in Nifty as well, right? If you look at the IT stocks, so of course let's have a look at the Nifty IT. So Nifty IT, of course, it looks very bullish, considering the fact that the price has been heading higher in the times when Nifty and Bank Nifty are heading down, right? So again, in this case as well, the price needs to sustain around this resistance mark. If I use that rectangle, just a second, so you can see that this whole area is serving as an important resistance, right? So price has to clearly sustain above it in order for it to make some higher up move. Same is the case with the heavyweights, that is the TCS and Infosys, right? You will observe a very similar chart, so it is better to look at the Nifty IT, right? So in our previous session, the price did not sustain the highs at around the day high, and there was a decent enough selling from around those regions, right? If you look at the US markets as well, they are quite stable, especially Nasdaq, so that could actually benefit our Indian IT stocks in order for them to head higher, right? So now let's come to HDFC Bank. Of course, this is a very important stock for both Bank Nifty and Nifty, right? So HDFC Bank, as you can see, hell of a volatile price action it is, right? So of course the last high is around the 1670 mark, as seen clearly, right? This is the area, and this is the short term support zone. So again, on a last session there was a very strong upside movement, and that came just after HDFC, right? Not HDFC Bank. HDFC announced their results, so there was a very strong up move in HDFC as well as in HDFC Bank, right? So of course, sustaining above 1670, 1680 levels can trigger some good upside movement, and eventually the price may reach its all-time high, right? So if you look at the all-time high, so that is around 1720. So on the previous high as well, the price did give a selling from around 1705, right? So of course HDFC Bank also does look decently well. Also we shall be looking at SBI. Why? Because SBI has come out with its results on a previous day, and its results are going to get factored into the market on Monday. And let's have a look at its price action. Results on paper look really great, and if the market takes it in a bullish way, then we might be observing a good move from till the higher levels, right? So again, in this case, there is a clear support bounce that has taken place, and of course thanks to Adani and the volatility in the market, just look at the recent volume in SBI, right? Extreme volumes, and as you can see, the results have also been decent, right? So decent surprise as indicated here. So there could be a strong up move in SBI, right? And that could actually help Bank Nifty to head higher, and if Bank Nifty is strong, then Nifty will also be decently strong. Also Bajaj Finance, if you look at the, so these also, after Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv, so after the results were announced, they have possibly created a short term bottom. So on a previous session, it is up by about 5% as it is seen. And if you look at the lower time frame, so you can see that price is trading at a short term resistance zone as seen clearly, right? So this was a false breakdown, of course, and there is a strong move post the results. So sustaining above 6000, 6050 resistance mark is going to trigger some more upside movement, of course, in these stocks as well, and that is gonna help the financials to stay higher, right? So all this makes me think that, yeah, considering the results from the stocks, or maybe analyzing the IT sector. So these are quite bullish for the market, especially the IT sector, as well as the results from SBI, right, as well as this HDFC twins. Also, you can see the chart of Reliance, that Reliance has also kind of built a short term bottom and seems like it is going to head higher, because it has not been able to break the recent low in the past few sessions when there was a lot of volatility. So of course we can't really say anything about it, because who knows, these days markets are absolutely nuts, and any day there could be a selling of 2-3% in index followed by a 2-3% up move. So doesn't really matter, right? It is to be, planned on an intraday only, like on the same day where the prices are heading towards, and based on that we can plan out some positions, right? So of course sustaining above NIFTY 17,800 in case of Nifty is gonna trigger some decent up move till around the mark of 18,000, after which you can't really say where the prices are heading towards, unless and until we have a very strong momentum. The price will not break this at one go and probably consolidate here for some time, after which it may go higher or head lower if the price does not sustain, right? So one thing again to be considered is the FII numbers. So they are not really great, because FIIs are selling in huge quantity each day, and that is a point of concern for the market. But talking about global markets, so they are also decent. The US market has been doing pretty well, right? If you look at the chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which I'll be opening in a second. So Dow Jones, you can see the price action is quite decent, and this was the analysis that I have drawn on Dow Jones. So seems like it is trading in this range, and from here there could be a short term correction. That is a possibility, as the price has not been able to break this recent resistance area. So maybe the price can consolidate here, or maybe give a small correction before giving a further up move, right? So that was my analysis of Nifty, Bank Nifty, as well as the index heavyweights. And of course now you guys should have a clear plan for the upcoming week on how to trade on index as well as our heavyweights, right? So if you find this content to be helpful, then of course join our free Telegram channel. The link is in the description, and there you would also find a lot of analysis and intraday and positional trade setups every day, right? So that is a great place for traders, especially independent traders, right? So if you want to learn price action from the very basics to advanced and be a part of our amazing trading community, then join our price action trading membership only at the rate of rupees 555. The details are in the description. Alright guys, thank you so much. See you guys in our next video.